Well, spiritual abuse, of the various things that I am knowledgeable in, this would be right at the bottom of the list. I would like to have anything be an expert in other than spiritual abuse, because there's only one way to get to be a real expert in that is that you either are a survivor of it or you've walked with people who have been. I have never been under spiritual abuse. I have walked with a number of survivors in a number of different circumstances. And so what I want to do in this time is just kind of unpack for you a little bit of what kinds of spiritual abuse there are in this session. And then we'll talk about what to do about it, how to recognize it in future pieces of this. So I want to just begin with what is spiritual abuse. And a definition that I've used goes something like this. Spiritual abuse exists when people with religious authority use their position of spiritual power to control or dominate another person in the name of God, faith, religion, church, whatever, taking advantage of the victim's vulnerability to gratify needs such as importance, power, intimacy, value, prosperity, sexual gratification, spiritual fulfillment. You got all of that, right? Let me unpack that just a bit at a time. It always is in a context with somebody who has religious authority for spiritual abuse. When I look at the different dimensions of a person, I think that we're body, we're spirit, we're mind, we're emotions, all those different kinds of things. We're calling, we're part of a family system, we're part of a social system. And the thing that differentiates spiritual abuse from other kinds of abuse is it's done by one who has spiritual authority over the person. So it can be done by any kind of spiritual authority. Pastors would be common, but it doesn't have to be. It can be people in any kind of spiritual authority. And they come from that position of using that spiritual power to control or dominate another person. Same kind of thing you find in sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is not about satisfying sexual needs. Sexual abuse is about dominating another person. And spiritual abuse is about dominating or controlling that person, always in the name of God, always in the name of religion, always in the name of spiritual betterment, and taking, because of the power differential, the power person is over the, I just want to say victim, but it's really over the person who is in submission, in partnership with the one who's the abuser. So you've got a pastor, you've got to say a church secretary. You've got a pastor, you've got a new convert. You've got a pastor, you've got a person on the elder board. It could be just about anybody, but that power differential between the pastor and the person is a critical thing. So in spiritual abuse, the pastor uses his position of authority to control, dominate, exploit the vulnerability of the person who is being abused. And doing it, says he's doing it for the sake of God, but really what he's doing is fulfilling his own needs, to feel important, to feel powerful, to feel a servant of God, to have some sort of spiritual fulfillment, but it's to fill their own needs.